Are you a daredevil looking for the next challenge that involves being high up in the trees on your own through a challenging obstacle course?
Hi, I'm Kenny Rogers and welcome to my channel.
And yet with absolutely no risk? No risk? How can that be? Or maybe you were just curious on how we did it ourselves and seeing if we made it out or not. Or you have absolutely no idea what it is and you just want to learn a little bit more. It has the name adventure in it. So we zipped into that opportunity to try, and we'll tell you what it is, how you can do it, and if it's worth it. Me and my girlfriend had vastly different experiences, and we'll go over that as well. So let's go. What is the difference between a zipline course and an adventure course? The adventure course is the one that we did, but sometimes you might get confused between both. A zipline course, it's all about those zipline zip boys, meaning it's only zip lines to zip lines. Sometimes you are zipping from one platform to another. Sometimes you are unclipping and you're walking to the next platform, or sometimes you just stay strapped in and just going from zip line to zip line as the course itself is just zipping around. Zip lines tend to be longer and you go over much higher things depending on the course, and it tend to have a guide with you if it's one of those much bigger zipline courses. You are gonna go over canyons, you're gonna go through trees, but it tends to be a little bit more costly. An adventure course is an obstacle course in which you are never detaching from the structure. What that means is you have a harness similar to rock climbing and a safety line that you connect to the beginning of the course, and then you stay connected all the way to the end of the course. So if you fall, you are not falling to the ground, which is good. These adventure courses is a chain of obstacles such as log ladders, cargo nets, tight ropes, and wobbly bridges with zip lines as part of the course. This entire course is high up in the trees, and there are different heights depending on the course. You've got a kid course as well, all the way to an extreme course, and you're really, really high up. I would say about 40, 50 feet sometimes. Many places have an extreme version of the course, which is much higher up, and the obstacles have a higher risk of falling off the course, meaning you're not gonna go to the ground, just you'll be on the safety thing, but it still has that exhilarating feeling. Other ones have kid courses, and some other ones even have some mini bungee jumps. Let's go over some of the details, what to expect, things as cost and time, and other options that you could do in an adventure course. The one that we are focusing on and the one that we did is an adventure course, meaning you've got your zip lines, you've got your obstacle courses. Most of the classic courses, the ones that you're typically find, it will be about 2 hours long on average. And the reason why I say on average is because that's what they're expecting the average person to take, because they're usually taking their time or they're scared. So if you are more of a daredevil or if you have more experience, you will go through this a lot faster. The cost is expected to be about $40 to $45, and it will change by course. So the same company that we went to at a different location in the same province, it was about $30 to $35. We found this on Groupon, and there's a link down below in order to do that, but that can save you up to $10 to $15 per person, which in the long term, it is definitely worth it. If there is an extreme course, it will tend to be an add-on. Ours, the expected time was about 45 minutes, again, on average. A lot of places will have bundles, such as this one had a triple pack, which was $60, which involved the classic course, the extreme course, as well as the mini bungee jump. You won't find these bundles on Groupon, but regardless of if you're scared of heights, or if you have more experience, or if you don't think you're gonna do the extreme one, you might as well get the bundle. It's not that much more money. You were there anyways. You get to enjoy the experience, and you have way more options, and they scale up. So you can do the classic course, especially if you're a little bit nervous, you get used to the equipment, you get to trust yourself a little bit more, and then you can go to the extreme course. Just be aware that not all courses are the same, and sometimes you just want to make sure that you're getting more out of it depending on your location, but a simple search on Google and for reviews, we'll fix that. What about our experience? How did we do? Because we both had vastly different experiences, and let's go over that. We strapped on, we grabbed our stuff, we went on, and here was a little bit about our experience at the adventure course. First, we skipped doing the classic course, and we went straight to the extreme course that was higher up in the air with way more difficult obstacles just to make sure we were challenged. It was such a great feeling to be high up in the air amongst the trees, and you could look down and everyone looked like tiny little ants.
What is this?
A center for ants?
The obstacles here were way more fun because you had a variety from things of tight ropes and wobbly bridges. You even had a Tarzan swing and cool zip lines that went across the courses. These are things that for the average person would be decently difficult, or you might actually fall if you did the obstacles as intended. There's always a safety line that if you're scared you can grab, but if you don't do those, they have a lot more chances of falling, which definitely added to the experience for me. These are challenges that are mental as well as physical, and I always enjoy doing that. I also went with my partner in crime. She's not really scared of trying a lot of things, so I was really interested to see how she would do here. When we went kiteboarding as an example, she was the first person to volunteer and try it out. Just jumped in the water with a giant kite, which wind could just blow you off, and she just went for it. Good for her. The combination of the height and the chance of falling, especially with the first obstacle being the most difficult one, which is a really long wobbly bridge, allowed her to have a mental as well as a physical challenge, which she adores doing and really loved doing it. And we both had lots of fun because it has a little bit of a physical challenge as well as a little mental challenge, and those are always great. I still had lots of fun because no matter what, it's out in nature, it's something a little bit different. There's a little bit of risk, even though there isn't really, because if you fall, you're fine. But I did not enjoy it the same as her. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I train and coach Ninja Warrior and parkour, as well as I am a rock climbing athlete. Those things that I do, especially the Ninja Warrior, its entire thing has to do with training to go through obstacle courses and competing in them. So these obstacle courses weren't as difficult as intended for me. And I'm not as scared being high up because in Ninja Warrior and parkour, a lot of it that we do is fear training, specifically working with heights, being out on heights, and there's no safety net and harness. But then I also do other things that have to do with height, such as outdoor rock climbing, in which you do have a harness and you need to trust it. As I'm used to risk, knowing that there's no risk made it way easier mentally. That did mean I could try the obstacles as intended without using the safety harness and try to make falling a part of the experience. But this entire thing, as I said, is intended for the average person. Okay, well that makes it sound like I'm above average. You know what? The tooting my own horn is starting to sound like an orchestra, so I'm just gonna move on. But now you know both of our experiences, how we did, and now you can kind of consider what are our final thoughts, even though we both had different experiences on the course. I personally will not do this specific course again, but it is great for adventures, and I definitely do recommend it, especially if you're looking to step out of your comfort zone and still be completely safe at the same time, which I also talk about in my outdoor rock climbing video. Everyone can do it, as it is a safe environment and you can push yourself. The experience was a little short, as we only did the extreme course, which was intended to be about 45 minutes, and we didn't do any of the other courses on that day. And I did like the motto of the website of the place we went to, Wild Play, where no one gets hurt, but everyone takes chances. And I really like that, because sometimes in life, we are afraid to take chances, even though there are no consequences, or the consequences are so insignificant. We get so worried to just try something, just to put yourself out there and do the things you actually enjoy. The consequences might just all be in your head, so go out there and take a couple of chances. You won't regret it. And if you want to save money on adventures, there are links down below to Groupon and Airbnb, which is where we found this adventure and is where I find most of my adventures to save money. But that is our experience with the Zipline adventure course. What do you think? Are you going to try it yourself? Have you already tried it before? What is the highest obstacle thing that you've done, such as slacklining, ziplining, bungee jumping, skydiving. I really want to know. Let me know down below, or you can always hit me up on social media and I will zip with you to the next adventure.